boys and girls, how are you? I have something that is a painted rock, which I call Lumpy. He has these little pieces of rock that's glued on top. And I also have a pet rock that I just made called Snake. And I have this rock which somebody made for me. It says Mom, M-O-M, or if you flip it upside down, it says W-O-W, wow. Today, we're gonna make a rock, and we're gonna make a rock that is called a pet rock. That's a rock in which we can actually make and take along with us. We can play with it. We can bring it with us on a picnic, or we can take it with us when we watch TV. This is a rock, a beautiful rock in which we can put in a planter. We can put inside the planter so that it looks fancy. Okay, there's many things we can do with rocks. Here's a rock that I started. It was just a piece of rock that I found in my garden. And what I did is I started the rock by adding an eye. Okay. I thought this rock might look like a bird. And then I added a beak, colored it in orange. Then I added what looked like a wing. This is the wing on the rock. Here we go. And then maybe what I could do is color it in with these markers. Again, you can use paint, you can use marker, you can use crayon. I'm using permanent markers here. And I'm just gonna put an outline that makes this look like a bird. And so here we go. I'm gonna call this little guy Chirpy. Chirpy is my bird pet rock. So now we have a couple pet rocks here. So I went to my garden and I picked out some rocks. I have a bigger rock here and I have a smaller rock here. It's a rainy day today and it's very windy. So I decided to sit on my front porch here and just decided to pull out my permanent markers and find the two rocks so that I can make some interesting creatures of some sort. I think another interesting pet rock would be to make some type of a ladybug on this rock. So I'm just going to kind of put the head of the ladybug, which is usually dark, like a dark black or dark orange. And then I'm going to have the body of the ladybug at the end of the rock. And then I'm going to do a straight line down the middle. And then I'm going to do these little polka dots on the ladybug. And then after I'm done, I'm going to either choose to do orange, a brown, or a red marker to fill in my ladybug. And then I have to decide, what am I going to call my pet rock? What would be a good name for a ladybug? We could call her Lady, Lady Jane, Polka Dot, Dottie. There's all kinds of great names for a ladybug pet rock. Here we go. I'm filling it in now with some red marker. So far, here we go. We have what we could call this Dottie. Dottie the ladybug. Hi, Dottie. Dottie is now my new friend. And Dottie can be part of my pet rock collection. So now I have Dottie, I have Lumpy, I have Snake, I have Mom or Wow, and I have Chirpy. And I also have my special painted rock here that goes into my flower pot. So there we go. Now I have another rock here that we can decorate. This rock is a little bit bigger rock, so we can decide, do we want to make this rock a shark or a penguin, or it could be anything really. So let's decide. So I've got these rocks here. Why don't we make a panda bear? Let's call this guy Panda. So I'm going to start by adding ears and then a round face. I'm going to put little circles in the ears, eyes, And then a nose that kind of looks like a panda. Now, I'm not a perfect artist. I'm not an artist at all. But this could be the beginnings of a panda. And I might want to put a circle around. Pandas sometimes have the circle. And then I'll fill it in. Here we go. There's panda. And if it kind of looks to me like it could actually be a tiger or some type of a cat. So we could call it cat, panda, or whatever you choose. Either way, it's my pet rock, so I can decide. It's all up to me what I want to call my pet rock. So there we have the dark outline, and now we're going to want to fill it in with some other colors. You could also make pet rocks using rocks, stones, or you could use markers, you could use paint, or you can use chalk. So I'm going to fill this in with a little bit of light color. If I had chalk right now, I'd probably fill in the face with a white chalk for the panda features. But I don't have chalk, so right now I'm going to just use permanent marker. And already we're starting to see some color in our panda or our little tiger. Again, because I'm the artist, and when you make your own pet rock, you're going to be the artist. You can do you can name this anything you want to name it. It could just be a geometrical shape. It doesn't even have to be an animal. So I'm just going to fill it in and make it look interesting. So here's my pet rock. And then if I want, I could go to this side and I can draw something different. It doesn't have to just be one pet on the rock. So let's see, what would be another interesting animal to draw on a rock? Maybe would be, let's say, a bunny rabbit. So if I'm going to start out by putting a bunny ear and another bunny ear, then I'm going to put a bunny face, a body, some legs, a fluffy tail, and then I'm going to want to put some features, which would be eyes. So I'm going to want colorful eyes, probably maybe blue. I'm going to want a pink nose, and it depends on how you want to make your bunny. There's so many different ways to make the bunny. I might want to put some marker in the ears, make it a little bit pinker, and then a blue eye. One thing we have to remember when we're making a bunny is that they do have whiskers on the nose. So I'm going to put whiskers. And here's the beginning of my bunny. It is not done. I'm going to add more features to it. So now we have what looks like more of a tiger on this side, or I thought it was going to be a polar bear. And then we're going to turn it and we're going to have a bunny, which I'll fill in. And then we have another side of the rock. So we can actually add another animal, and we could add an animal on the bottom. So this could be a pet rock, or this could be a paperweight. Here's our little ladybug that we made together. Or we could even have just a fancy rock that we put in a pot that would go into a garden. Looks like this. And if you look closely, you'll see the rock inside. So thank you, boys and girls, for joining me. And remember, all you will need is markers, crayons, paint, and a plain rock from your garden. And you can make your own pet rock. Thank you, and have a great day, and enjoy this beautiful, windy, somewhat rainy day.